Oh, this is going to probably upset some of the purists out there with classic guns, but my Feinwerkbau ball, what I've done the video with at the weekend, the 300S Junior, I hardly ever shoot it, which is a shame because it's a fantastic shooting gun. The fact that I cannot get on with the diopter sights. I've got the start of cataracts in my eyes, I'm getting old. It's so difficult to get a decent sight picture using them. So I thought, you know what, let's put a scope on it. It was never designed to be shot like this. But I can always put the bits back on at a later date. I just want to get it so I can enjoy shooting and use more often because it just sits here gathering dust. Probably got used once in the last 2 years. So I had to rummage through all my parts bins and that. I found an old cheap BSA. I think it's a 4x32. I've adjusted the parallax for 10 metres on it. I've taken the end cap off and screwing the lens inside. Cheap old double screw mounts. Don't know what they would make they are. That was in my parts bin sort of thing. I've taken the front sight off, put an adapter on there for a silencer. Even though I'm not going to put a silencer on it, it just finishes the barrel off a bit nicely where I've taken the foresight off, which is just knocked through with a clevis pin. So it will still go back to how it should be, but hopefully it's just going to make it something I can actually use a bit more and enjoy shooting. I don't think it looks too bad on there like that, with a classic look. It finishes just shy the loading port there. Got nice eye relief there. Sits nicely on top of the action. I think it looks quite nice. Does the job. Plus the other thing, I can do some pellet testing with it. When I was using diopter sight, you couldn't really do any proper pellet testing. So I don't know if it's me not looking through the sight properly. Can't really see the target properly. At least with a scope on it, I can eliminate that and do some proper pellet testing with it and find out what it likes. Because it should be capable of putting every pellet through the same hole at 10 metres. It's that good a gun. But we're just going to put some hobbies through it now, just to see what sort of groups we get compared to what I did at the weekend. Because it obviously wasn't very good. I'm not going to try shooting standing up, because I'm not no good at that. So we'll just see. I stuck a few shots through it just to zero the scope. I think it's somewhere near. So we'll just see what we can do. So now I can actually see the target. We'll go for the left-hand target with the 5 targets on there. Go for the centre one. And hopefully with the recoilless action as well, the cheap scope and mount should hold the zero quite well. Not going to get shaken about like they do on a normal Springer. If it works, you never know, if I get a bit more money I might put something a little bit better on it. We'll just do a 5-shot group. It's just a test of what the gun's going to shoot like really, rather than how well it's zeroed or how well I'm shooting. Alright, last shot. I think what I'd do, because it is quite difficult, it is a quite cheap scope with the black crosshairs against the black ball of them targets. I'll do this last shot on the left-hand target. Then we'll just stick 5 shots on the paper target to the right, which has got a white ball, which will probably be a little bit easier to see the crosshairs on. It's the only thing you do get with a cheap scope like a 4x32. The sight picture's not massively clear on a cheap scope. Yeah, I can actually see where the pellet's going on that one. Looks like it's shooting very slightly to the left. So I literally stuck 3 shots for it just to get an initial zero before I started filming. And if this turns out to be successful, then I probably will look for a nice little compact scope for it of some sort. Probably some better mounts as well. Really want some proper double screw mounts. There's no Arista stud hole in this, but there is some grooves machined into the action where the diopter sight's got like the little clevis that locks it on. So you could probably might get like a little arista stud that goes down into them slightly. I don't think we're going to suffer with scope creep on us anyway, because it's very, very little recoil. Can't remember, that's 4 or 5. Stick one more. Then we're going to have a look at the target and see what it's shooting like. Hopefully it should be a lot better than it was with the adopter sight. I can't really look through properly. As I mentioned before, my shooting's about enjoying myself rather than keeping things period correct. It's nice to keep them as nice as you can get them, but if you can just make something a little bit nicer to shoot without damaging it so it can still go back to its original configuration, I can't see any problem with that. I know some people don't like that, but tough. I think that sits on there quite well, looks quite neat. That just finishes the end of the barrel off nicely. A bit of a neater look. I quite like that. Let's go and have a look at the target. And that's not too bad. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that for a Springer at 10 metres. Cheap scope, cheap mounts. An old fat bastard shooting it. That's going to make that into a gun I probably will shoot quite a lot more now. Thanks for watching.